I'm Swami Chaitanya, and
Hello, I'm Nikki Listretto, and today our guest is our dear friend Chris Van Hook, who is also the founder of Clean Green Certified organic certification process for cannabis. And this is Chris, and tell us about it, Chris. You're all over the country now and into Canada.
Well, we are. And Nikki and Swami, thank you very much for inviting me back to your show. I have so enjoyed working with you guys for the past 8 years.
been great.
Not only are you building an iconic brand in the cannabis industry, but you're really showing people how to grow sustainable, high-quality cannabis. And
Wow, so you really have expanded. When you started with us 8 years ago, how many people did you have then?
well, we started in 2004, and 8 years ago we had probably about 60 farmers, I guess. And now we've got a little over 200, about 225 in California, Oregon, Washington, Montana, Colorado, Nevada, Canada, and Puerto Rico and Vermont now.
Puerto Rico.
Okay, yeah.
Puerto Rico, yeah.
But you also certify testing labs, is that right? Or dispensaries, retail outlets?
Well, yeah, just like the USDA, we're based on the USDA organic program.
I see.
I've worked in the USDA organic program since it started in 2003. I was one of the only 84 companies around the world that became accredited by the USDA. So it's a very difficult accreditation to build. I managed that company for 15 years and sold my half about 2 years ago.
I see.
And in 2004, someone asked if I could certify their cannabis as organic. And so I said, well, let me find out. And so California said yes. And the federal government said no, because it's not a federally recognized agricultural crop.
Right.
And so we started the Clean Green program. It's all of our inspectors and all of our staff have the same qualifications as the USDA organic program. They either work in the USDA organic program or they would be qualified too.
So now there any number of farmers, of course, are not Clean Green certified. And so what kind of challenges are they going to face as we move into this whole new way of doing business?
The number one advantage is that it confirms your compliance with state laws and pesticide regulations.
Right.
It greatly reduces your liability as a farmer. If somebody makes a claim that they got sick on your cannabis from pesticides, you have proof from a third-party certification program that you're not using it.
But the state is also going to be testing that now in the future.
The state is, and not only is it helps compliance with the state. We
Right.
use the same labs with the state. The state knows us. We're a state-recognized logo. And so, and just the same reason why farmers formed Calavo or Sunkissed Lemons or Diamond Almond, there's a much greater marketing strength in working together. Individual farms that aren't certified are sort of in a mass of people, and it's much more difficult to differentiate themselves.
Right.
So, like I said, we certified about 60,000 pounds of trimmed flower last year.
Wow.
Across all of our states.
Wow.
And all the small bud and trim was additional weight, which went to the processors. So, and the reason why people renew is because it helps get their product sold. And that's really where the tire meets the road is everything's wonderful, but you really need to help the farmers.
Well, we
get their
found that
product sold.
since we've been certified since 2011, and every year successively, it's sort of like that's a track record,
Right,
right? We've never failed,
right.
right? And likewise, Harborside, they send it to Steep Hill Labs, and we've never failed there.
Right.
So that, that's a certification in and of itself, the longevity of that.
And not only that, when you the labs that we use for our soil sample tests are the same labs that we use for the USDA organic program, the same lab that the CDFA uses in Sacramento. It's 20 miles north of Sacramento. So when you apply for your state permits and you say you're Clean Green certified and you have your soil tests from EMA Labs in Woodland, and you can you're confirming that not only are you compliant with the state regs, but you have been compliant for X number of years.
Right.
And when and if it becomes federally legal, it'll automatically be able to become, it'll very shortly after that be able to become a USDA organic.
Not exactly automatic, I'm
Not
sure.
automatic, but once it's a recognized agricultural crop federally, the USDA organic.
Well, that's our
program
big
will be
hang up
available.
all the way down the line, that because it's Schedule 1 drug, it's not a crop. So,
Right,
yeah.
but the most important aspect to getting into the organic program is being able to show that you haven't used prohibited substances for 3 years.
Right.
So all the Clean Green farmers will be able to move right into that program.
Okay. Now, in your experience, what do you see as the 3 or 5 main things that most farmers really need to do to get come up to grade?
That's a good point. Do soil testing before you buy a farm, look at a farm, or move to a farm. Send those soil tests to a federally licensed lab. We use EMA Labs in Woodland, California. And make sure that you don't have residual legacy compounds like DDT and like DDE. right off the bat. Number one, check your soil. Number two, the big problem that we're seeing a lot of farms, especially historical farms, trying to move into the permitted industry, is make sure that your property is permittable before you even get
Right,
started.
is it in the right zone, the right
Is it in the
size,
right
right
zone?
setbacks,
Do you
all
have
that
legal
stuff.
water?
Right,
Do you-
legal
so
water,
do
key
you have-
element.
Key element. And so, and then the other thing is, it's important for a farmer to study the state that they're in, and realize what pesticides they're not allowed to use.
That's right.
And really, it's a very limited field. And so, a farmer that has been farming cannabis conventionally in the past, that would spray, myclobutanol or some Avid, for example, on their crop and never see need to train themselves
Right.
to become more actively managers of their own crop, observe the crop, catch pest problems early.
Well, that's what we call integrated pest management, where the most important thing is observation.
Right, observation,
Right.
and catch those problems early. If you can have high biodiversity, predator mites out before an outbreak.
Yeah.
Another major problem, the number one problem we see with pest control, is people bringing cuttings from or plants from other areas. But there's another interesting thing that I'd like to say. When we started this program in 2004, people said, "Oh, you can't grow good cannabis organically. You can't grow good cannabis organically." And since that time, the Clean Green certified growers have won the San Francisco High Times Medical Cannabis Cup in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14,
Wow.
15, and 16 in 4 categories.
Amazing.
Has won the Emerald Cup 3 times, is placed in the top 5% every year we've been here.
Congratulations.
There literally is no
yeah.
other program on the face of the
No,
earth.
I've
that
been
has
saying for
won
years
the
it's the
types
best
of
way to
awards that we have
grow.
won.
The best way to grow for the environment on one
yeah.
level, and also for the product
And so-
and for the customer.
And so not only have we proven that you can grow good cannabis
Right.
organically, but you can grow the world's finest cannabis
Exactly.
organically.